What's up, everybody? We alive. Yet another day above soil. I'm definitely going to be making some artwork today. But I figure while I make this piece of artwork, I'm going to talk to y'all about MLMs and cults. After doing some research and doing some reflecting, I have come to the realization that there is no difference between MLMs and cults. Also, I've been pretty busy lately. I was putting off this one picture for a while because I had some other inspiration and I made it into a picture. That picture is going to come out on Juneteenth, but I'm going to go into the picture that I already had a thought of and I was putting it off, and now the opportunity came up. There is a place called the Back River Treatment Plant in Dundalk, Maryland. This is going to be a part of the Old Log collection. I've already made my rendition of a raven, black-eyed Susans, orioles, and my version of the Maryland flag. So if you want to make some artwork with me, go right ahead. You're going to need some paint. You're going to need some brushes. You're going to need some newspaper, some cardboard. By the way, I'm going to be talking about some controversial topics. If you are triggered by child abuse in any way, you probably may want to skip ahead or watch any of my other videos. I don't mean any harm in talking about this. If anything, I'm doing this because I want to enlighten y'all to some of the things that are out within this world. So if you're triggered by the topics of child abuse, abuse in general, whether it's physical or mental abuse, you may want to turn away now. I hope y'all ready because we're definitely going to get into it.
I'm going to begin with why I'm talking about MLMs and cults. A lot of my artwork and the reasons behind why I make art is to prevent the world from pollution. But that is only 50% of why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Another 50% is because of psychological pollution. Every day, I notice that there is somebody or something or a group of people, they getting played. I want to prevent people from getting played so that they can have as much mental clarity as they can, so that people could go on with their life. In one of my previous videos, I talked about my discourse with vector marketing. At first, I thought vector marketing was going to be a well-paying job. On the outside, it looked really good. But when I got into the meat and potatoes of the matter, there wasn't really anything good about it. Vector marketing is a multi-level marketing company. And the thing is, there's a lot of MLMs out there. You have Amway, you have New Skin, you have Avon, you have Mary Kay, you have Color Street, you have 5 Links. There are so many multi-level marketing companies out there. If anything, I'm kind of scared to imagine how many are out there. And the thing is, people get played by these companies every day. Some people may be considered foolish, gullible, or naive when they join these MLMs. But the truth of the matter is people join them because they're at a very, very low place. Take me, for example. I was at a low place because I was trying to find a job that paid better, where I had more autonomy and I could quote-unquote become my own boss. I didn't necessarily approve of the job that I had before I started vector marketing, so I wanted to give it a try, and I wanted to do something different. And that difference was something that was going to give me more freedom. But it turned out that I was only a snake in the weeds. So I'm looking at my experience with vector marketing. I'm looking at my experience with what was about to be 5 Links. And I couldn't help but notice that both of those experiences had a lot of similarities with cults. So then my next question is, what's a cult? A cult is a sort of organization. It doesn't have to be religious. However, most cults out there are religiously affiliated. Some examples of cults may be Jehovah's Witnesses. You also have Heaven's Gate. You also have Teal Swan. You have all these different cults and groups out there. And they're very, very, very similar with the nature of multi-level marketing companies. Let's start from the very, very beginning. Most of these multi-level marketing companies have something called a charismatic leader. When I was in Vector Marketing, there was a very charismatic leader. If anything, this charismatic leader graduated from the same middle school that I and my sister graduated from. And then this leader also had a brother who graduated with my sister. And he was also a part of this company. 5 Links. There was a lot of charismatic leaders within 5 Links. There's this one person who was an older black man. And when he put on his Sunday best, I was like, wow, this guy's got it together. I want to be just like him. So right then and there, that was a trap. Cults have charismatic leaders. You look at the late Eugene Spriggs from the 12 Tribes. And yes, Eugene Spriggs has the same last name as I do. We are not related. I'm just going to set that record straight right now. You also have the Moonies, or the Unification Church, where there was Sun Myung Moon, very charismatic leader. You have the cult of Nexium, where there was Keith Raniere. He was a very charismatic leader. And you also have Teal Swan. She is a very charismatic leader. A lot of people look up to these individuals and they look at how they present themselves, how they speak. They're like, wow, they really have their stuff together. I'm going to listen in. The charismatic leader is definitely something that is very similar, if not identical, to MLMs and cults. You then look at how these groups recruit. A lot of MLMs and cults, they recruit deceptively. When I got lured into Vector Marketing, it was a big orange sign. It said $17 base pay. And I wondered, how is somebody going to make $17 an hour? However, it wasn't $17 an hour, it was $17 appointment. And I didn't see $17, and I did a lot of appointments. If anything, I lost a lot of money. And then you go to cults. I remember when I was in Oneonta, there was a restaurant called Yellow Deli. And their sandwiches were really good. Their soups were really good. I could already smell the tomato basil soup. And I'm not even close to the Yellow Deli. And for reference, it's 2 hours away from where I am in Oswego, New York. So they lure you in with this good food. They lure you in with this very sweet and melodic music. And the people there were very decent, and they held on to conversations most of the time, like 80-90% of the time. And they noticed that I was a regular and that I was eating their food probably every week or every other week. So they were talking to me about life. And of course, a lot of them noticed that I had a Kairos cross around my neck. For more information about the Kairos cross, go to one of my very first videos out there. I'll talk to y'all about the nature of Kairos. But anyway, they were very intrigued by the necklace I was wearing. And they just wanted to know more about me. And they were listening to what I had to say. So then one day, I went to the Yellow Deli. And there was a member of the 12 Tribes who gave me a sort of business card. It was a very weird business card. It was a little bit ruffled up. And it said something about an open forum. And he invited me to the open forum. Now granted, when I was in Oneonta, I got accustomed to seeing some of these red flags. They didn't talk about what was within this open forum. They just told me to come. I didn't come because I knew that there was some sort of fishy business. That was deceptive recruitment. However, there are some people who fell for that trap. There's other cults out there who deceptively recruit, and they mainly look for people who are in a very low place or they are far away from home. Take the 12 tribes, for example. It's very close to a college campus where there's a lot of young minds, and when they're away from the tutelage of their parents, they look for outlets. They look for people who are like-minded. So when the college students come into Yellow Deli, they find a very chill environment, and then they reel them in. MLMs have a lot of black and white thinking. Once you get indoctrinated into an MLM, they're going to employ an us versus them thought process. Basically, if you are a part of an MLM and you have a whole bunch of people within that group, they all look to the top, the very top of that pyramid, the CEO or that charismatic leader. And then they employ a lot of self-help within your mind. They give you a lot of books, pamphlets, magazines, inspirational videos. And most of the time, with these publications, they talk about how the group is on the up and up. And anybody who is outside of that group, they don't get it. Cults are very similar. Similar to the 12 tribes, the Unification Church, and Nexium. There's been a lot of people who have been ostracized or they asked to not talk to their family members because they poison the well. And people who are the family members, they spread negative energy. And you need to stay away from the negative energy because it's part of the betterment of the group. So basically, when you get indoctrinated within this cult and you're around only people who are from that cult, they ask you to stay away from the family members and your friends because they're the individuals who don't get it. MLMs are very similar. When I was in vector marketing, a lot of people would say, oh, you don't want to work in that minimum wage job. You're just going to be replaced by a robot. And then you're going to run into family members who are skeptical of the products that we sell. They don't get it. Ignore their, oh, I don't think this is going to work. They are limiting your ability to creatively and to critically think. Cults do the same thing. Long and laborious hours. I remember I had to put in a lot of work with vector marketing, memorizing scripts, memorizing the products, knowing that there's polypropylene handles that are crafted to fit in a human hand, and how there was a study of 100 hands to formulate the vector marketing or the Cutco cutlery handle. They had us work on these scripts with cults, like the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes had people work day in and day out. They would wake up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then at 7 o'clock, they get to work. And they work from 7 all the way to 6 o'clock in the evening, sometimes until 8 o'clock. And if they don't work, they get beat up. There would be children as young as 6 months old getting beat. They get to work and they work, and they don't see a dime from their work. Not a dime. With MLMs, you gotta work hard. You gotta have a lot of inventory that will drain your bank account, and then you don't see that money. My first paycheck for vector marketing was only $35. $35! And that was back when gas was really high. So that $35 wasn't going to be worth a hill of beans. That was a tank of gas. And that was it. I couldn't pay for no food. I couldn't pay for clothing. I'm glad I lived over my folks' house back then because I wasn't making no money. Cults, there was a lot of hours of volunteerism. Like the Unification Church. They had to go out and sell roses and sell chocolate to people. And they'd be on a street corner all day long. You also have the United Nation of Islam, where there's a lot of younger people who would be washing cars, they would be selling bean pies, and they would do this all day long. There are certainly so many similarities between MLMs and cults. But here's my last advice. If you are about to encounter an MLM, please watch out for a lot of the things that I've talked about. If they're promising you money in a quick way, don't tread lightly. Just don't tread. Just don't do it. If they're saying that you're going to be your own boss, don't believe it, because you're going to become an independent contractor. Now, a lot of times I tell y'all to not give up, which is true. If you have a passion and you see a problem within our society, cater to that problem, be passionate about it, but do it within your autonomous decision. You work for you so that you can better society. But with these MLMs, with these cults, they live for the survival of the group, but not society as a whole. And the thing is, if you deviate from the MLM, if you deviate from the cult, you will be considered an outsider, and you just won't get it. Please know and be cognizant that you are worth it. The people who raised you are worth it. Your friends, your family, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your mother, your father, your grandparents, they're worth it. You are worth it. Treat yourself with much respect, and things will fall right in place.
So before we part ways and leave, I have a relatively important question to ask of you. If you went to sleep tonight and you didn't wake up the next day, would you truly be satisfied with the life that you lived? If your answer is no, then it's most definitely time to do some soul searching. Think about some of the changes that you need to make with your life. I say this because there's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, doesn't discriminate. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for watching my content. If this is your first, second, third, or whatever time, hit that subscribe button. We're greatly on the road to 100 subscribers. Please become a member of the LDX family. I'm also going to include the links to my Etsy and Instagram right within the description. I leave you all with much love, good spirits, and vibes. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.